Hi everybody, welcome. I hope you all are doing well. I had planned to have like a nice little outdoor adventure while we talk about the latest in the series of healing videos that I'm doing. But unfortunately, we still have quite a bit of snow. I don't know if you guys can see this. There's snow and ice on the ground. So I diverted from going to the other park I was going to go to today. And I'm kind of parked in the spot that I was in before, which is peaceful. And it's a little bit windy. And this topic is very important. So I didn't want to lose anything that I'm going to say with it being windy and that sort of stuff outside. So I hope you enjoy the view. There's the sun up there. You can see the snow and the beautiful trees. So today's topic is going to be embracing change and moving forward and letting go of the past. And this is something that has been, it is such a crucial step and part of the healing process for us. This is something that I've been going through myself, and we'll go through it many, many times. As you know, there's a lot of changes that come to our lives, and when you're going through an awakening, you will have many, many changes over a period of time. And I've always felt like there's been a lot of change in my life personally, and I've always felt like, well, I'm pretty good at embracing those changes and moving forward, but this time I did hit some hiccups. And so there's been some, I don't believe in coincidences. Any of you who kind of watch any of my videos, you know how I feel about that. Like, there are distinct messages and signs that come for us. So when things happen that are like, wow, that's a weird coincidence, it's not a coincidence. It's a clear message or a sign we're being given, and that it's up to us, to interpret it that way or to ignore it. So I'm choosing not to ignore some of the signs that I've been getting. And I'm led to talk about this particular topic to the point where I actually took some notes so that I would not forget to address some things. Because you all know, usually I just kind of fly by the seat of my pants, and I just, let spirit kind of give me what I'm saying, and it just comes out. And that's really kind of how I'm going to roll. But I will look at my notes if I feel like I'm skipping something or I'm missing something. So let's talk about the very first piece of this, which is embracing change. Now, most of us, you can feel, and if you think about this intuitively, you feel when change is coming. Like literally even before that change is brought to your doorstep. And in tarot, we often refer to it as, a tower moment, right? And sometimes we bring about the change, right? And sometimes the universe brings that change to us. And I listened to this gentleman who, I really love what he said, and it made sense to me. You know how sometimes you hear things and it might be something that you've been thinking about off and on, but when you hear somebody, it really resonates. And I'm one of those people, I always love to be learning. I am very open to hearing like others' opinions and things. I think that's, for me, it's a good way for me to evolve and to grow and to learn things. So this gentleman, his YouTube channel is like #elevate with a little e. And he was talking about signs that you are getting a message from the universe or that change is coming and things like that. And he was talking about like repetitious physical changes and cycles. And ironically, of course, one of the videos I did not too long ago had to do with breaking out of cycles and things like that. And it's like, he said, sometimes when, our Creator is trying to get our attention and get us to make a change, we will be put into a repeating cycle. And he said, you might get yourself out of something, right? You're like, oh, this is not good for me, whether it's a job, a relationship, or whatever it might be, friendship, whatever. You might, open your eyes and be like, yeah, this is not good for me. I'm going to get myself out of it. But then you may turn around and get into another situation, job, friendship, relationship, whatever. And like he said, it's all different faces, right? It's different individuals you're dealing with or different places, but it's the same thing. It's like a repeat. It's like your own repeat for things. So like that's definitely something that was going on for me for a while. And I had to, and it's like we will repeat those cycles until we get those lessons and get ourselves out of it and make a bigger change. So sometimes we feel like we are embracing the change, but really we're kind of only doing a little piece of it because we're not doing all the work that we need to do. And I'm going to share with you, because as a reminder, everything I'm saying is just my personal experience, okay, and information that I have gleaned. So for me personally, I like to face things head on. I have no problem calling myself out if I need to on things that I know I need to deal with and that I need to heal or change in some way. So it's like I've been feeling this change that has been coming, and I knew it was coming because I could feel the immense energy of it. But then it's like it's like the feeling of like walking to the edge of something and you're standing there, but you're not quite jumping off. Do you know what I mean? You're just still standing there. And I kept thinking, what in the world? It's divine timing. I believe in divine timing. So I thought maybe I'm just, I need to wait on divine timing for the next step of whatever this big change is, because I could feel this is another big change coming. So it's like I did one piece of that. I'm embracing whatever this change is. But the other part with moving forward is we have to acknowledge to ourselves, yes, I'm ready to move forward. That's kind of part of embracing that change. And a lot of times, we don't do that because even though we're like, yes, I'm ready for change, whatever is going on right now, this is not really what I want, or I don't want to continue in it. But the moving forward part, we don't really click into place along with embracing the change, which is what we have to do. So, and along with embracing whatever change is brought to us, or whatever change we personally wish to make, we've got to put those physical steps into motion with it to move forward. And sometimes we don't, because there is something subconsciously, right? Something emotionally hidden that might be holding us back. And 9 times out of 10, it is something we have not let go of. Okay. And whether that is a behavioral pattern, a thought process, something from our past. And it's why they say, some people are like, I don't understand why so-and-so stays in this bad relationship or does this or does that or whatever. It's because we tend to, even if something is not good for us and we know it's not good for us, a lot of times we will stay in it because it's a comfort zone, because the thought of the unknown is sometimes a lot scarier than getting out of something we know is no good for us, or letting go of something that we know is no good for us. So I felt like I really had put in a lot of work. I did all the steps. I released everyone and everything from my past that I needed to release. I was embracing the change. I felt like I was moving forward, just like right on that precipice of being ready. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm physically ready to step forward, to take whatever steps, are brought to me to do this. And then I just felt not stuck, but like in that little holding pattern. And I'm thinking, wow, what is it? I've released everything. And, Spirit just made me sit with myself. This was the other day. It's so funny how things happen, actually. It really, really is so funny how things happen. And I'm going to back up for a second and tell you about this coincidental thing that happened, because nothing happens by accident, these messages and signs that we get. So I had wanted to have an astrologer look at my birth chart and give me some general information and stuff. So I did some research, and there's a ton of great astrologers out there. There are, but there was one in particular. I had watched him on YouTube, and he had just a very intuitive, like tapped in and very like sensitive approach, and just very also analytical, like looking at every little piece of the chart, which I found fascinating, by the way. And his name is Gregory Scott. So if you get a chance on YouTube, you should check him out. And he has a website where he will do these personal reviews of your birth chart and stuff at gregoryscott.com. But anyway, I put in to have this reading done. And when I tell you this is months ago, I'm not exaggerating. So there's kind of a little waiting list for this, which will tell you. And at the time I put in for it, I felt like I really would like to have, these answers now. I really would like to have some of this confirmation or whatever now. But it wasn't meant to be. And I was in a little bit of a frustration about it. But now, looking back, I know exactly why I wasn't meant to have that information at that time. While it would have been good information to have, the day I needed to receive it, which was on the 11th of March, was the actual day I needed to hear that confirmation. I needed to hear the information of what he gave me. And had I gotten it much sooner, months sooner, it would not have had the impact. I wouldn't have been given it when I needed it, okay? So everything kind of happens. It's so funny. It's like, Spirit has this plan, and they can look down and see, and they're like, okay, you're going to need this confirmation. You're going to need this information at this time. So I put this into place months ago, and then I receive it on the actual day I need it. But here's the funny coincidence about all of this. So in this reading, and he doesn't seem to do this much, but in this reading for me, in reference to my chart, he was talking about even though I'm an Aquarius and I can be, analytical, I don't have that sort of more Aquarian trait that a lot of people, say where you're not in touch with your emotions and everything. I have like massive amounts of water in my birth chart. So I am kind of the flip of it. I am like the analytical Aquarian who is very heart-centered and very in touch with my emotions and very emotional. So he said, looking at your chart, I can see you're the kind of person who tends to want to be loving and helpful to people, but that puts you in a position where you can be taken advantage of, which was very true. When I tell you that this man called me out on my entire life, I'm not exaggerating. It was unreal how accurate it was. But one of the things he said when he talked about, stepping forward and moving forward and doing things, I have never been the kind of person to ever push myself into the limelight, to ever want to be like center stage or get attention. I kind of was the person that was like, I'm pretty cool just like blending in with the wallpaper back here. If I want to help someone or do something, I do it anonymously. I don't feel the need to put myself out there. And even doing this was, believe it or not, a huge leap for me, to be honest. It was a huge leap for me. I was not a person that would be at all comfortable doing videos or speaking or anything, even though, like my face is not on here because I feel like it's the message, not the messenger. Still, it's like a massive thing for a person that is more introverted and shy by nature. But I felt led to do it, so I took the leap and I did do it, and I was glad. But here's the coincidence, because I'm rambling now. But he recommended a book for me. And what's funny is I wrote the title of the book down and the author, and I love to read, by the way. And I put it aside, and normally what's funny is I would have ordered that book or went and tried and got that book right away, and I didn't. I kind of got busy with other things I had to do, and I didn't. And then 2 days later, I have for those of you who know about Audible, it reminds me of like a books on tape kind of thing. And I never really was into it. And I'll tell you the truth, and this is years ago, I would try and listen to him while I was driving to work and things like that. And folks, it just made me sleepy. It's like for some reason I couldn't concentrate and it just made me sleepy. So I kind of gave up the idea of doing that. And I went back to just reading books. But I wanted to read a book that came out, this is like a year or two ago, by Russell Brand, that was really good, a spiritual book. But it was only available on Audible. So I ended up getting an Audible account. And my daughter, who just has always loved like books on tape and stuff like that, I just said, okay, I'm just going to kind of hand this over. I'm going to keep this Audible account and you can just use it. So they had a 2-for-1 sale, and I'd messaged her and said, go ahead and pick out whatever you want. Now, please understand that my daughter likes Harry Potter books and things like that. I love Harry Potter, by the way. I'm a big fan. But, that's the kind of things that's on her reading list. So it pops up when she chooses stuff, and I kind of see it, and it popped up, and I looked at it, and I'm going to tell you, I could have fell out of my chair because she was able to pick 4 because it was like a 2-for-1 sale, and we had 2 credits or something. One of the books she chose was the book that he recommended for me. And guys, this is not a new book. This is a book that was written 16 years or something ago, a while ago. It's not a new book. And I was stunned. I was like, and I messaged her, I was like, what made you choose this book? And I told her the story and how this is something that, I was, obviously Spirit is like, we really want you to get the information that is in this book. You are meant to do it. And I will tell you the title. It's called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffries, who's a PhD. So this was the book, and the irony, it's almost like I waited a couple days. I didn't go and get it right away like I normally would. And then it was almost like Spirit's like, here it is. You have no excuses now. All you have to do is click a button and you can hear this because this is information that you need. So there's big changes being brought to my life like there is to many. I see it in the collective, and it's so awesome. It is, because it's bringing us into the harvest. When I do the tarot readings, one of the things I've talked about this year specifically is this is a year of harvest for so many of us. We're reaping what we've sown. And part of it is these huge changes, stepping into our purpose and things. So I definitely know that whatever other component or whatever, my creator is bringing to me that has to do with my harvest is going to require me to do something that scares me. So anyway, but anyway, that was like a coincidence that's not a coincidence. It was a message loud and clear. Read the book. If you're afraid, face your fear and do it anyway. So I will be listening to that audiobook, by the way, and I'll let you guys know what I think of it. But anyway, embracing the change, moving forward, and letting go. So I had to sit with myself. Spirit had me sit with myself and try to figure out, why was I not continuing my forward momentum? Because I definitely felt forward momentum. I kind of was like, okay, I'm ticking all the boxes. I'm embracing the change. I'm not being resistant to it. I've let go of everything as far as I know. And then it was funny, sometimes as like a soothing thing to me. This may sound silly, but I like to sit and just like shuffle my cards, my tarot cards and my oracle cards. I'll just shuffle them and flip them over and sometimes just cut the deck and see what the messages are. So I was sitting there and I was kind of like half meditating, half shuffling my cards. And then they flipped a couple of cards out for me that had a very clear message. And I don't need to go into all that for you guys because it's more personal based. But I will tell you this. It brought to the forefront the fact that I definitely had a fear and anxiety about moving forward with part of the change that is being brought into my life. And I didn't see it. That's what's funny, is I didn't see it or acknowledge it because I was completely focused I'd felt like I'd done my inner work and I was focused on what that outside change was. And I was like, well, I don't have any fear of whatever you bring to me. I know it's for my highest good, yada, yada, yada. And then the Spirit sat me down and said, the fear is not about what we're bringing to you. The fear you have is of yourself. And how are you going to approach this? How are you going to respond to this? And not wanting to basically mess it up. And that's what it was. It was like there was literally another piece of my puzzle that I needed to heal in order to be able to let go of the fear of, it's like I read this and it kept popping up in my mind. You know how sometimes you will get your signs and synchronicities, and sometimes a message will just keep pop. You can look everywhere. You can be reading a book, you can be looking online, you can be driving by something, and a message will be popping up repeatedly because you're meant to see it. You're meant to absorb it and listen to it and acknowledge it. So the message for me was, imagine for a moment if everything worked out not just exactly as you wanted it, but even better. And I sent that message to my daughter as well. So this was the thing, I think. It's like for some of us, when you have a lifetime of things not really necessarily working out or things being very difficult, when you are suddenly faced with what your higher self and your intuition knows is going to be what you want, your dream, and it's going to be everything you want and then some, there will be a part for some of us that just is like, that can't be right. I don't want to screw this up. And so that can actually hold us back. So it's like, when the changes are coming, we almost have to, instead of kind of looking outside for them, I know many of us do, instead of kind of looking outside for those changes, we have to pause again and go within and be like, am I truly prepared? Because Spirit kept saying to me, like literally the Creator said to me, you're ready. You're ready. You're the one that's got to believe that you are. So that was like a wake-up call and something that I definitely wanted to share. It's like many of us will be, and I just got my body tingles again, many of us will be presented with these, beautiful, wonderful opportunities for change, to have our dreams, to walk our purpose, right? To work our purpose, to walk that path, to be doing what brings us joy and is of service to others. But we have to believe it. You know what I mean? It's like we can do all that inner work, but if we don't believe that we are really ready or deserving of it, so much of this goes back to self-worth, guys. If we don't believe that we're ready or deserving of it, then we're not going to be. So that's just something I wanted to bring up for everybody else who may be going through something similar. For those that this might resonate with, it's like, trust yourself. You know what I mean? Believe in yourself. When you know with all your heart and soul that you have done the work, that, you are ready for the change and you really want that change. Your heart wants it. Your soul wants it. Allow yourself to acknowledge that you deserve it and that you are ready for it. And if you need to take a pause and heal some more things or do some more work before you do it, you will, but those changes do not get brought to us unless we're ready for them. It's what Spirit said. You're ready. You're ready. It's like, here's the universe holding this out to me, and I'm just standing there. So, I mean, literally, you can have a little visual of it in your mind of how that goes. And so I shake my head at myself a little bit over it. But we're constantly in that beautiful place of growing and expanding and learning and getting to that higher level of connection, with our Creator, with our spirit guides, with our higher self, so that we have unlimited potential, yes, to do good in this world, to be of service, to help others. A lot of times, it's what I've said in other videos before. If you go through all these things and you do all this stuff and you share your story, you share your experience, and maybe you share it with one person, right? And it helps that one person, that's enough. That may be the one thing you were supposed to do with it, okay? Like, that has been brought home to me time and time and time again. It's like with this, if only one person hears it, who is meant to hear it, who it's meant to help in some way, some small way, even if they take just a little piece of it, and that one little piece helps them, then it served its purpose, right? I did what I was meant to do with it. So that's kind of, I'm looking at my little notes here. So letting go of what does not serve, that's like crucial in embracing change and moving forward. Sorry, my camera's moving a little bit. Making changes as guided. So this is another one I'm just going to talk about really briefly. You will often get downloads like I do in messages about changes to make in your life. Okay, and it can be on any type of a scale. It can be changes to do with your career, changes to do with like your personal self, doing better self-care and things like that. It will run the gamut. Okay, but it's important when we do this, when we embrace these changes, do make changes that we are guided to make. Your intuition and your heart will tell you. Accepting and also embracing the changes that are brought to us, tower moments. And then I put down here at the bottom, fighting changes causes us to be stuck. So sometimes we manifest in these changes. We want them. We've been wishing for them with all of our heart. And then, like I said, when the 11th hour comes and here it is, we're like digging our heels in, oh, no, I didn't really think that was going to happen. Or sometimes what you manifest in, when it comes to you, it doesn't look like what you thought it was going to look like. That's why they say you're almost better not to be like super, super specific sometimes with what you are putting out to the universe, right? You're almost better to kind of be broad in what you're doing. And that can vary from person to person and thing to thing, but I find this is just the case for myself. It's like, it's better to leave most of it up to the universe, because you're always going to be brought something that's better than what you would have chosen for yourself. But again, sometimes it's going to come to us and it isn't going to look like what we thought it would. Like, some people literally turn down their change or their opportunity, and then it has to come around again another way, because in their mind they were so what's the word I'm looking for, guys? They were so centered on something. They were so fixated. They were so fixated on it being one particular way that when a better version of what they wanted came in and didn't look like what they thought, they passed it by because they didn't think it was the thing they were waiting for. So that's the other thing for us to be aware of with embracing changes, moving forward, and letting go of the past is what you want. These changes coming in may not look like what you think. And a lot of times it may be something to start you on the path to that bigger thing you wanted. So maybe it shows up in your life and you're like, this isn't the big thing I asked for. This is kind of like a small version of it or something. That may be step one on the path to getting you to the bigger thing. So just keep that in mind and kind of embrace those changes when they come as you're led by your intuition, right? So yeah, embracing the change moves us forward and fuels our growth. This is what I've just been talking about all the way. And it said on the other side of this, sometimes difficult change is a better outcome. So some of these changes are not fun, right? Some of these are true tower moments, and that it can turn your life upside down. It can be difficult. It can be traumatic and all of those things. But when you come out of the other side of it, those things which were not good for you are removed so that you can make room. And that's the other piece I wanted to talk about, so that you can make room for what is good for you, right? For what you truly want. And then I did put down here, be patient with the changes and yourself. So it's like, as we step into these new things, we need to be very patient. And here it goes again, that message. Thank you, angels. Trust the process. We need to trust the process. We need to be patient with it. And we'd also need to be patient with ourselves, because you don't flip a switch and change your whole entire self or big chunks of your life overnight. You have to, it's all a process of steps, one step after another. Just like with everything that we heal, it's one step after another that gets us closer and closer to where we want to be. But I want to touch on real quick before I wrap this up that part of embracing the change and letting go of things, and it's things, people, places, jobs, etc., 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 is for something new to come in, you've got to make space for it. This is just the balance of the world that we live in. So you will notice, almost everybody does, that right before some new wonderful thing comes in, or before a big change takes place in your life, you will have to sacrifice or let go of something, or something will literally be pulled out of your life. And I've had that happen too. I've had both sides of that coin happen to me. So sometimes we're prompted, this is no good for you. You need to let it go. And that's the easier route if we can get ourselves to do it. And if we can't, then our Creator is going to rip down that tower and take it from us if we won't do it on our own. So trust me, as many of you know, I guarantee many of you know, it's easier if you do it yourself. It really, really is. It's a little bit easier. So make room in your life for the better things coming in. We're going to be reaping that harvest. Make room, embrace the change, move forward, let go of the old stuff, guys. So that's just my experience I wanted to share with everybody. I hope it is valuable to you in some way. I hope it is helpful to you in some way. If anybody has any, comments they'd like to make about it, or if you have any suggestions of other things you would like for us to talk about, I would love to hear that. Or if you'd like to even add, some of your experience in the comments to share with others that could be helpful to them. I think that would just be wonderful. I think that would be awesome. So I will be doing some more tarot readings. I'm kind of doing them like 3 signs at a time. I still have a lot of crazy stuff going on, guys, right now, but I'm doing my best to juggle it around at the moment. So the next video that I'll be doing after I do some more tarot readings is and I will give you guys a heads up. The next 3 tarot signs, let me see, the next 3 zodiac signs I'm going to be reading for, sorry guys, I'm all over the place with this, bear with me, is going to be Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. So I'll be doing Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini readings later today, okay? And the next video in the healing series that I'm going to be doing is dealing with challenges and obstacles. And when you're on your healing path, I know they can be thrown in front of you right and left. So we're gonna talk about that, and we're gonna cover kind of what is the best way to deal with that, of the experience that I've had and some things I've read and things I've seen and experiences that I've heard that others have had as well with that. So that will be next. And I'm also going to be doing a video coming up, about crystals. So we're going to be doing some fun with crystals. I love my crystals. I don't have all of them with me right now since I'm kind of in my temporary place, but I do have some, and I'd like to kind of talk about like take 1 at a time or 2 at a time and kind of talk about what they can do as far as, magnifying your energies. There's certain crystals for protection and things like that. So we're going to have some fun and talk about some crystals too, because those are things that I really, really love. And I figure folks might be interested in it, but you all can let me know what things might appeal to you guys to hear about. and I would love to talk about it. So thank you so much for watching. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Just keep, stand in your truth, stay in the light, trust yourself, trust your intuition, do what is best for you. Keep sending that love and light out there with everything that's going on in the world. Every day that we can just even take a moment and just send as much love, hope, and peace around the world to everybody. It's a good thing. Every time we kind of all do these things together as much as we can, like I said before, we are one. The number of minds in the universe is one. So it's like what you do for yourself, you are doing for others. Every time we are healing ourselves, guys, we're helping others. You know what I mean? So every time we send out that beautiful, unconditional love, we send out that light, we send out hope and peace, it makes a difference. It really, really does, for ourselves and for everybody else as well. So thank you so much for watching. Everybody hang in there. I'm sending you all love, peace, and unity. Stay safe and take care, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.